Hello y'all, LemmingAid here, playing a recently released Medieval 2 Total War mod, The Wheel of Time Total War, based on a humongous book series by Robert Jordan that transforms the game into the Wheel of Time universe. This is the first release of the mod and the mod author's first project, so congratulations to them on releasing this. So far, there is 12 factions: the Borderlands, Andor, Karhayan, Tyr, Ilion, Tarvalon, Band of the Red Hand, Paranibrala's Coalition, the Dragon Reborn, the Shi-Chan, the Dark One, and Eridoman. The campaign will be added later, but for now there's at least custom battles to play with, one of which will be coming right now. This fight is between the Borderlands and Andor. The Borderlands has many units from many different nations in the region, and Andor has a good group of units that will consist of heavy cavalry, artillery, and foot soldiers to do the man-to-man fighting. The first fight is underway with the mounted archers of Andor conflicting with the Saldaean horse archers, who will be harassing one another in a brutal archer brawl. Up on a nearby hill, Andoran trebuchets land and hit their mark on the Kandori archers, who return their own volley on their assailants attempting to assault their position. The second unit of Andor mounted archers harass the center lines of the Borderland army, taking out a few of the Kandori spears at the front, with artillery continuing to fire overhead. Andor archers move into the front of their own force, attacking their Borderlands counterparts. The Shinar and Lancers see a opportunity and charge straight toward Andor's left flank, clashing with the mounted archers Andor had sent to harass their own forces. Cutting through them, they head straight into the town militia of their enemy, whom begin to rout at the first sign of combat, perhaps overwhelmed by the Shinar and Lancers' charge, who move back to engage once again, with some units engaging the Lord's Bodyguard. The Queen's Bodyguard, the heavy units of the Andor forces, they charge into the right flank of the Borderlands army, attacking the Kandori spears who hold the positions there. Lord's Bodyguard pass by to attack the archers also along the further side of the right flank. The Queen's Bodyguard comes into a melee with the elite forces of the Borderlands army, the Dreadbanes. The same can be said for the center, where the Queen's Bodyguard clash with Kandori spears there. On the left flank, Lord's Bodyguard from Andor have been brought into play, attacking the Shinar and Lancers. On the right, Lord's Bodyguard there have also charged into the units. Some Dreadbanes engaged more Lord's Bodyguard, and even more of the Andor heavy cavalry is chasing and pursuing some archers. This is the Andor general's unit, who is trying to prevent any more fire coming from the archers from the Borderlands. Dreadbanes continue their clash with the Queen's Bodyguard in the center, and in the left flank it is a brutal melee between the Shinar and Lancers and the Kandori spears there, who are breaking the Andor forces slowly, bit by bit. Over in the center, things are still managing to look grim for the Kandori soldiers, who have been reinforced by more Dreadbanes. The hill the Borderlands forces had held is overwhelmed, and archers are struggling to fight the Lord's Bodyguard. Dreadbanes have arrived to fight their also well-armored enemies, while archers shoot upon them. Andor on the left flank looks to be slipping away, with the onslaught of Shinar and Lancers seeming to be proved decisive, with the last remaining militia unit being routed. This success could prove disastrous for the remaining Andor forces, who are at a standstill in the center line and will be attacked by the now freed up forces from the left flank, consisting of Shinar and Lancers and Kandori spears. Andor's army is slowly beginning to be more and more outnumbered as the battle goes on. Shinar and Lancers charge the deadly artillery that Andor brought to the field. The artillery crews have no defenses against this sort of threat and are immediately overwhelmed. Men are tossed in the air in their charge, which may be a better fate to being trampled to death. This is catastrophic, as one of Andor's main advantages they had brought into this battle was the presence of their artillery, which will be now destroyed. A few remaining Lord's Bodyguard are alive. The center line is all but a Borderlands victory. The Queen's Bodyguard bravely choose to fight their enemy to the death despite their odds. This decision will cause them to greet death early, cut down by an array of swords and spears. A unit of armored spearmen arrive from behind to aid their comrades. It is too late. They clash with another unit of spearmen and their only reward for this action is being impaled from behind by the group of Shinar Lancers. As quick as they arrive to help their friends, they are now running away in panic, being broken by the attack from behind, and the victory all but belongs to the Borderlands, the commander of Andor having died sometime off screen, but has left a good group of Lord's bodyguard to carry on the battle, who have not seemed to have gained much luck in surviving, with many of the Kandori archers and mounted Saldean horse archers attacking any rowdy units they can find. Most gains Andor has made here is cutting down archers with their heavy cavalry. This task looks to be in vain, with a few units remaining on their side, and who is left will be certainly attacked by the army of the Borderlands, who has most of their army still intact, and the Shinar Lancers, the MVPs of this battle obviously, slam into the Lord's bodyguard, cutting through them like a hot knife through butter, sending them into a panic and forcing them to flee from the battlefield. It is now a matter of time, with the few remaining resistance from the Andor units now almost dissolved. There is many bodies on the battlefield, and the units that are remaining are usually quickly broken and regret their decisions of ever returning to the fight in the first place, and are harassed by shots from the archers, with a few artillery crew still left but will soon be fleeing, who are now attacked by the Dreadbanes, forcing them to run away too. Andor barely clings onto the hope of victory in this fight, with only a few units left, and those who do fight are at a weak level of troops and are exhausted from the fighting overall. A few of the Lord's bodyguard do regroup to make one final charge, smashing into an isolated group of Kandori archers who do not have any friendly soldiers nearby to aid them. This attack will not last forever. This last defiant attack is already going downhill, with the units wavering, and any hit should and they break to fire arrows. Well, that's the end of this battle. That was Wheels of Time Total War. If you like this mod, check out the link in the description. Make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you want to see more content like this. Discord and links to other sites like my Twitter and Reddit profile will be down below also. Support the channel on Patreon. Again, all that is placed in the description below. I'll see y'all later.